What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6, Episode 16, Innocent Until Proven Keke. So Love and Marriage Huntsville is back, and it's back with a bang. After watching Love and Marriage Detroit, which was kind of a snooze fest, y'all, I just really wasn't prepared for the feelings that were going to erupt within me with watching Love and Marriage Huntsville and seeing these people again. This show has such a, like, it's so, watching it for me, it's borderline traumatic because I get so angry with some of these people, so angry that like I literally have to check my pressure because I know that my pressure is skyrocketing when I see some of these people, especially when it comes to the men on this damn show, but we'll get to all of that later. Let's start off with Miss Keke. So the episode starts off with some footage, some surveillance camera footage at a Home Depot, and the news report is that the woman featured in this footage was shoplifting with her child, and this person did look a lot like Keke. So then we see Tiffany. She's had her baby. Melody comes over, and Tiffany tells Melody that she's the first one in this friends group that has seen her new son. So then they get to talking about Keke, and Tiffany tells Melody that, she saw the news report of Keke shoplifting at Home Depot and how she's wondering how this is going to affect our brands and our businesses. And, do we really want to be associated with somebody like that? And Melody is just looking at her. She did that whole Melody face where it's just like blank, no expression, no emotion, no feelings, no nothing. She's just giving her this blank stare. And as Tiffany is going on and on and on about how Keke's alleged shoplifting is going to affect the group, Melody says, well, as far as I know, she hasn't been charged or arrested with anything. And you can't believe everything that you see on TV. And so I'm just kind of like, because last season when it ended and we saw the teaser for this season and we saw this whole situation about Keke shoplifting at Home Depot, I was like, for sure that was Keke shoplifting at Home Depot. And now when Melody was saying, but you can't believe everything that you see on TV, I'm like, but Melody, this was her face on that damn camera. That was Keke walking out of that Home Depot. And I'm assuming they're not going to pinpoint someone who was innocent. I don't know. Maybe they would have. I have no idea. So Melody was just very protective of Keke and defensive. And she was like, well, you can't believe everything that you see on TV. She hasn't been charged or arrested with anything. And so I don't think Tiffany was expecting that type of a response from Melody because the way Tiffany was talking, Tiffany, I think, expected Melody to agree with her. And she expected Melody to kind of be like in an uproar and be like, oh my God, girl, you are so right. This is going to affect us and we need to distance ourselves from her. But no, Melody was just like, well, you can't believe everything that you see. You can't believe everything that you see on TV. And I'm assuming the reason why Melody was sort of protective or defensive of Keke is because she brought her into this friends group to do her dirty work for her. She was using Keke to try to get at Letitia by having Keke expose some marital secrets of Letitia and Marceau. So she's going to protect Keke because maybe Keke does have a lot of information on Melody. I don't know. But it seems like, Melody is going to try to either protect Keke or not get involved with the mudslinging of Keke. So then after that, Tiffany records an invitation for her baby reveal. Courtney goes to Black. He pops up on Black. He pops up at Black to see Marceau because he wants to have a man-to-man conversation with Marceau on how Marceau approached Tiffany at the Black Expo when he was begging for that $100 from Tiffany. Not Tiffany, Stormy. Sorry, y'all. When he was begging that $100 from Stormy. So he confronts Marceau, and Marceau was like, well, she knew about it because it was on the internet. It was on the website that the vendors had to pay a $100 fee. Marceau, what the hell are you talking about? Even if it was on the website, which I don't know if it was or if it wasn't, it's not guaranteed that everybody will see that. You cannot guarantee that all the eyeballs looked far enough to read the fine print. So what you should have done as a businessman that you claim that you are, you should have sent out a bill, an invoice, an email, a something to all the vendors to let them know, okay, that there was going to be $100 booth fee or vendor fee and when it was due by and how to submit the payment. That's what a businessman does. So then when they come to you and say, oh, I never got it or I didn't know about it, you can just show your proof that you emailed it to them or sent it to them through certified mail or something. But you cannot prove that somebody's eyeball looked far enough at the fine print at the very bottom to read, all of that information. So Courtney wasn't having it. Courtney was letting them know, I don't appreciate that. You springing this $100 thing on my wife and the way you approached her and how you talked to her. I don't appreciate it. And so then he tells, so then Marceau said that, what did Marceau say? So then Courtney says, what you need to do is Courtney was like, well, why do you always come for women? You always come for women. You don't come for the men. And that's when Marceau said, if you're so concerned about me coming for women and being in women's business, why do you sell women's products? And I was like, once again, Marceau, what are you talking about? I think the majority of products that are marketed towards women are ran by companies and corporations that are controlled by men, that are headed by men. So what are you talking about? L'Oreal and CoverGirl and Yves Saint Laurent, all of these beauty products, I'm pretty sure there are men at the top of these corporations that are selling these products. Like, what are you talking about? So, Marceau, you're saying that men can only sell tires and oil filters and sports equipment? Anywho, that was a very stupid comeback for him to say, well, why are you selling women's products? Because most women's products are sold by men, companies that are controlled by men. Anyways, so Courtney was like, you're so concerned about that $100 fee. Let me go ahead and tip your bartender here. And he put down like $800 or a stack on the bar as a tip for the bartender, just to let Marceau know we don't give a damn about your $100 booth fee, vendor fee, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Kimmy. She goes to visit Letitia. Letitia and her family, they have moved into their most recent temporary home because they're still waiting for their permanent home to be built. Kimmy asked Letitia, do you have like a time frame of when the house is going to be completed? Letitia has no idea. We talk about the luncheon, which ended last season. The luncheon where Stormy had confronted Letitia about, Marceau approaching her about the $100. No, Letitia confronted Stormy actually about how Stormy was talking to Marceau when Marceau asked Stormy for the $100. And also at that same luncheon, Tiffany was questioning why Letitia did not invite her to be a keynote speaker when they had the panel discussion. And Letitia tells Kimmy that the reason why she didn't even ask your girl Tiffany to be a keynote speaker was because she's like, I don't even know what the hell she does. And Kimmy was like, well, I don't know what she does either. Well, whatever she does, I think it's a legit job. I don't think that Tiffany's involved in any kind of a scam or scheme or anything fraudulent. Whatever she does, I think it's pretty legit. So I don't know why they're trying to like be real shady with what she does for a living and how she makes her money. Then they talk about Keke and the whole shoplifting incident. Tisha says that she was getting a whole lot of messages on her phone letting her know that Keke was featured on Crime Stoppers for shoplifting at Home Depot. And Tisha says that she is hoping that Keke is not back on those pills again. And after this, Letitia says that she is done with everybody. She's done with her cousin. She's done with the girls in the group. She's just done. So we don't know if she's going to show up at Tiffany's baby reveal party. Martell. So Martell's at home. Chris, the real estate agent, comes over. And Chris confronts Martell about the subpoena. Chris and his wife did not appreciate Martell subpoenaing or issuing a subpoena on them to appear for court to testify on his behalf, because Chris and his wife, the Fletchers, they don't want to be involved. They don't want to have to pick a side between Melody and Martell. They want to be neutral because they're friends with both of them. And so it was a really sneaky move for Martell to subpoena him and his wife. And I don't think Martell was like, I wasn't bringing you into the case for y'all to vouch for me or for y'all to be on my side and make me look good. I just wanted the truth to come out. And I know that y'all would have told the truth. And whatever that truth was, I was going to be good with it. You know, wherever the truth led us, I was okay with it. So it wasn't like I was using y'all to bring y'all to my side and to go against Melody. I was just, wanting y'all to testify to some information. And I know that y'all were going to be truthful about it. And it really didn't matter to me. It didn't really matter to me where the truth led the case. That's what he said. But we all know damn well that Martell subpoenaed the Fletchers because he wanted to boost his credibility and he wanted to boost his side. I don't think Martell was like, it's okay for y'all to be neutral and wherever the truth led us, it was fine. No, Martell wanted them involved because he wanted more leverage and he wanted more ammunition against Melody. So then they talk about how the house that Martell lives in, he's actually leasing that home. And the owner of that home has put the house on the market. And Fletcher is the real estate agent for the owner of the home. And so he's telling Martell that, you need to leave because this house is on the market and you staying in this house is preventing us from closing on the deal. And Martell is like, oh, all you care about is the money. You don't care about me and my kids and where we're going to go. Da, da. And Fletcher was like, the only thing I care about is my fiduciary duty to my client. That's what I care about. And so we gave you 30 days. Now it's been over 30 days. But you knew about this house being on the market 8 months ago because that's when it was placed on the market. So you need to go. Okay, I'm sick and tired of playing these games with you, Martell. You need to go. So Martell was like, okay, give me about, another 30 days. And Chris was like, I'll give you 2 weeks. I'll give you 2 weeks. Y'all, I loved this scene so much because it wasn't involving women. It wasn't involving affairs and fidelity, who's sleeping with who's with who. It was strictly business. And that's what I loved about this damn scene. And I liked seeing Chris Fletcher be professional, but he was still very adamant and like really strong and very much like laying down the law to Martell. I loved it so much. So he's given him 2 weeks to get the hell out of that house so they can close on the deal. Kimmy and Maurice, this is where I had to take out my blood pressure cuff and monitor my pressure because Maurice gonna send me to the hospital. Maurice is gonna put me in the damn hospital for sure. I was so mad at what I was seeing. I was like, there's no way this is real. There is no way that Maurice is talking to his wife like this. There is no way. There has to be some type of an agreement between Maurice and Kimmy that he's going to talk to her like this. And it's all fake. It's just all for the show. It's all for ratings. There's no way that Maurice is sitting up there talking to his wife like that. This has to be fake. So it starts off with them bike riding. They're having a good time. They're bike riding through the city. Kimmy says that this is really helping her with her tiredness. And oh, by the way, Kimmy's cancer treatments are over. When she was over at Letitia's temporary home, that's when we heard that all of her cancer treatments are over. What she's doing right now, she has, a lot of doctor's appointments to monitor her. But as far as the chemo radiation, all of that is done. She's still feeling very, very tired and exhausted. So the bike rides and her being physically active has been really helping her with her fatigue. So once they're done with the bike riding, they talk about the Black event, the Black Expo event. And Marceau confronting Stormy about the $100. Maurice said that, well, the good thing is, at least we paid our portion. And so Kimmy was like, why would you pay? Because half the vendors got in free. So what Kimmy said, I'm not sure if I'm really understanding what she was talking about, but it seems like what Kimmy was saying was that there was no fee initially for the vendors to pay. That's why there was no invoice or bill sent out to anybody, because there was no fee for the vendors to pay. But as more people began coming to the event, I think the Scotts, Marceau and his wife Letitia, were like, damn, look at all these people. We could have been making a lot of money. So that's when they began charging. So Kimmy's whole thing was, why charge halfway through the event? Because you're noticing that more people are coming in. You're getting a lot of traction for your event. Now, all of a sudden you want to start charging, but your cost, your overhead cost has not increased. So what is the justification for charging halfway through the event and allowing some people to come in free and then allowing other people to have, then making other people pay? It just wasn't fair. It wasn't consistent. It wasn't fair. So her whole point was they saw an opportunity, Letitia and Marceau, they saw an opportunity and they wanted to profit from that opportunity when they saw how many people were actually showing up. So that's why she was upset, I guess, with Maurice paying, because some people didn't have to pay at all. And this is, to me, what Kimmy says makes sense, because it explains why Marceau had to approach Stormy in this really, casual, unprofessional like way, like, where my $100, instead of sending her a bill and making it more professional and putting everything on paper. It makes total sense that then beginning to charge people was a last minute thing. So Kimmy talks, so after that, Kimmy talks about her Yanni egg, okay, and how she lost her Yanni egg in the toilet and she wants to buy another Yanni egg, and she's saying all this to let Maurice know that she is trying to, get things started again in the bedroom, because, she's been, I think once he realized that she was faking it, that she was, performing her wifely duties just to satisfy him, just to placate him. Once he found out that she was just putting on a show and that she really wasn't into it, and he didn't like the fact that she was faking it, they completely stopped having relations. Okay, they completely stopped having sex, because he was like, if you're faking it, I don't want it. I don't want you to be there just to be there, because I want you to, experience it with me. And so that's when everything stopped. So now her talking about the Yanni egg, I guess, is letting him know that, hey, I'm trying to get back into it. It's not like I've completely forgot about it, or don't want to think about it, or I don't have any intentions of getting back in the game. I do want to get back in it. So the way he was looking at her kind of like credulously, like, okay, whatever. That's how he was looking at her, right? And so then the conversation went so left, and this is where I was like, this isn't real. This is so scripted. This cannot be real. This is not real. Maurice cannot be this much of a jerk to his wife after what his wife has been through and what she's still going through. So Maurice blames her decreased libido on her mentality. He's like, this whole thing that you're talking about, not being in the mood and blah, 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 not wanting to have sex, it's just all mental. It's mental. As if she can control it. As if she changed her mindset, her libido would come back. And so Kimmy was like, it's not mental, it's physical, because it's the medication that I've been taking and the treatments that I've been going through. They've killed my appetite. They've killed my libido. It's not mental, it's physical. And there's textbook proof to show that when you go through cancer treatments, your libido will suffer. And so he asked her, well, how long is it gonna take for it to come back? And she was like, I don't know. And he was like, oh, okay. So in those textbooks that you were reading about the medication killing your libido, when it talked about the part of how long that's going to last or when it's going to come back, you stopped reading that part. You didn't read beyond that part. And I'm just like looking at this man like, are you for real? Y'all, it took everything in me not to cuss out my television set. Because, once again, your wife was fighting for her life. And you are completely unsympathetic to what she's going through emotionally, physically, and mentally. Can you just take a moment, Maurice, just to think about what a person goes through when they're given a cancer diagnosis, how they must feel like, their mortality is coming to an end, how devastating it must be for someone, not just like she got a diagnosis of a stage 3 cancer. And here you are worried about what's going on in the bedroom and her not satisfying you and not pleasing you. And when she was still giving into your needs and your desires and your wants, even though she was faking it, even though she wasn't in the mood, when she was still giving into you, you still weren't happy because she was faking it. And she can't be into it because of what she's going through with her cancer. And it's like, this is not real. This is not real. But then on the other hand, why do y'all want to portray yourselves like this? So this must be real. Because why would you want to purposely look like the worst husband in history? And if it is real, Kimmy, you should leave. You need to leave, because it just still blows my mind that Maurice would announce on television or whatever format he was on and say that Kimmy has a duty to satisfy him sexually, even after she's going through cancer treatment. It blows my mind that he would form his lips to say such ugly, disgusting things in public. And then, like I said, I remember reading something on one of these blogs where they were talking about, Maurice was being interviewed. I think he was being interviewed by Carlos King, I think. And he was telling the interviewer how, yeah, she has a duty. She's got to still please me. I don't give a damn. Well, he didn't say it like that, but whatever she's going through, it's whatever. She still has to please me. She still has to sexually satisfy me. And the people in the comments were like they were shocked that he was saying this. But then supposedly Kimmy had seen this interview and she had commented and she had said something like she said something really flippant, kind of like it really didn't bother her that he was saying these things. And so then the people were responding, well, if Kimmy is not bothered by the things that her husband is saying, if it doesn't bother her, then it don't bother us, and we don't give a damn either. We don't feel sorry for her because she don't really care that he's out there saying these things about her. But then on the show, she acts upset because she was like arguing with him. Like, do you not understand that this is not a mental thing? It's not a choice that I'm making. This is a physiological type of situation. It's the medication that I'm taking that's making me not want to have any sexual desire. That's killing my libido. And he doesn't believe it. Like, he really thinks that he doesn't believe it. He really does think that she's lying. And so when she tried to give him an example, like, okay, when you get aroused, that's a physical thing, right? And he was like, well, it starts off mental, and then the wind can blow on Maurice and he's ready to go. This is not real, y'all. This cannot be real. There is no way that this man is saying these type of things about his wife. And y'all, let me tell y'all something. And I had hesitated to say this ever since Kimmy first came out with her diagnosis. I really did not want to say this, but something told me when Kimmy first announced that she had cancer. In my mind, I was like, there's no way Maurice is going to stay with her. There's no way that Maurice is going to put up with Kimmy having cancer. I thought he was going to leave her or do some serious cheating, because I felt like Maurice is so selfish and so self-centered that her being diagnosed with cancer, I think Maurice automatically thought, how is this going to affect him? And how is this going to affect their love life? That's what I thought. But I didn't want to say it because I was like, no, I'm not going to say that because it just sounds horrible. It just makes him look so bad, and nobody can be that bad. But now, after hearing him say on the show that he thinks that her not wanting to sleep with him is mental, and it's got nothing to do with the cancer treatments and the medication, that just blows my mind. Like he feels like she just is purposely not wanting to sleep with him. And then for her to still try to get her libido back, like she's talking about the damn yoni egg, her trying to get her libido back and letting him know, like trying to keep him encouraged, like, hey, I'm really trying. And then for him to turn around and be like, well, how long is it going to take? And then she was like, well, in some places it said it could take up to a year. And then he looks at his watch and says, I'm going to set my watch a year from now and see if you're back in business. Even though he claimed that, when he gets aroused, it's mental. I think in that interview he had said that he needed sex. Like, for him, sex is a physical need. It was not a mental need. It's not his mind telling him he needs it. He made it seem like it's a physical need, like he physically needs it. It's not like he wants it or desires it. Like he physically needs it, like the way we need food and water. That's how he made it seem like. Courtney and Stormy. Oh, not much going on with Courtney and Stormy in that scene. Except that when they were talking about Keke, Stormy also was kind of sympathetic towards Keke as well. You know, she did the whole innocent until proven guilty. Moving on from there, Melody, she goes to see Keke. And Keke said she was in the hospital. She has some kind of mysterious back pain. She went to the doctor. No one could figure out what the hell was going on, so she still doesn't know exactly what's wrong with her. Keke then talks about everything in her life except the shoplifting incident. She talks about her businesses. She talks about her weight gain. She talks about her health, and she's going on and on and on. She's talking about everything under the sun except the shoplifting. So Melody takes it upon herself to bring up the damn shoplifting incident. And she's like, you know, everybody's been coming up to me or telling me about, you know, this incident at Home Depot with you possibly shoplifting. I had a conversation with Tiffany about it. Tiffany is concerned about how this is going to be affecting our brands. So girl, what's tea on that? And that's where the episode ended. I was doing just fine until we got to Maurice and Kimmy. I was doing fine. First of all, let's go back to Maurice and Kimmy. I don't understand why Kimmy would even tell Maurice that she was faking it if she was still intending to try to like satisfy him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she still has it in her mind that she, like, if she's trying, like, if she's doing things to actively try to get her libido back, why would you tell him that you were faking it? Because he really took that hard. He really took that really, really hard. And then for the life of me, I don't understand why he was so offended by that. Because was he offended because she said it on camera and it made it seem like, you know, he doesn't know how to please his woman. She has to fake it. And even though it's because of the cancer, he still feels like he's just that great in bed, that even if the medication killed her libido, that she should still be satisfied by him and should still feel good to her because he's just that good. And so with her talking about how she was faking it, it was a bruise to his ego. Is that why he was so upset about her faking it? And because he doesn't want her to fake it, you know, she was like, okay, well, if you don't want me to fake it, then I'm not going to do anything at all, because then what's the point? Because it's not pleasing you that I'm faking it. I'm not getting pleased in any kind of way whatsoever. So we're just wasting our damn time here. So now he's really upset because he's not getting it at all now. He's just really like awful. He's just awful. I just don't understand how you can talk to your wife who's been through cancer, how you can talk to her like that and make it about you and her not pleasing you. And y'all, look, if they were not on television, I swear to God, I think Maurice and Kimmy would have been divorced if they weren't on TV. But because they're on TV and they want to put up this facade that they've got the best marriage on Love and Marriage Huntsville, that their marriage is strong, whatever, you know, they think that this is like the emblem or symbol of black love. If they were not on television, they would have gotten a divorce, because I think he would have divorced her because, you know, she would not have been sleeping with him anymore, or she would have divorced him because of the fact that he's putting all this pressure on her to continue to have sex with him when she just physically can't. I don't think they would have been together if they weren't on television, but because they just have to prove to the world, like every other couple here except for Melody, all these couples have to prove that they've got the best marriage, they got the perfect man, the perfect marriage, and all this other nonsense. They're still together, making each other miserable. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.